Friends, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm sure you are studying in your room. And obviously, in this pandemic, I hope you are doing your best. So, from the last topic, we were learning about uncertainty in measurements, but today's topic is laws of chemical combination. Actually, there are few laws which various scientists put forward in order to understand our matter. So, in this section, we will learn about 4 to 5 laws which will make our concept strong. So, let us start. The first law was law of conservation of mass. This law states that matter can this law is based on matter can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. I think this line you have read several times, and here comes its application in the law of conservation. So, who put this theory forward? It was Mr. Antoine Lavoisier in 1789. This theory is based. This theory was put forwarded by him considering combustion reactions. Actually, he was studying about combustion reactions, and he noticed quite interesting data that the matter from the reactant side and the matter from the product side was same. It means the mass from reactant side and the mass from product side has the same value, as this law was based on matter can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. So, let us mass of reactant equals to mass of product. Let us take some example. H2 plus half O2 gives H2O. Here we can easily see the mass of hydrogen molecule is 2 gram. If it was O2, then 16 to the 32, it was 32 gram. But for a balanced chemical reaction, it becomes half O2. Half O2 means 32 ka half. It means 16 gram. We can easily see 2 gram of hydrogen combines with 16 gram of oxygen, which is going to yield 18 gram of water. This was the law of conservation of mass. You can easily check 2 gram plus 16 gram equalizes 18 gram of the product side. Let us take one more example. Just take a screenshot of this and write it over your notebook. Next, let us take one more example. Carbon plus O2 gives CO2. Law of conservation of mass says that it is 12 gram and it is 32 gram and this one is 44 gram. We can easily check this out by ourselves that 12 gram combines with 32 grams to give 44 grams. And there are lot more examples. You just have to add the mass of the reactant side, and I'm sure that will be equal to the mass of the product side. But this theory failed later on, because as nowadays we know mass is equals to energy. As Einstein theory told us एनर्जी इक्वल्स टू mc स्क्वायर, यानी कि एनर्जी इज कन्वर्टिबल इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मास. व्हेन मास एक्सप्लोड्स इट टर्न्स इनटू एनर्जी, एंड व्हेन एनर्जी कंडेंसेस इट बिकम्स मास एट द रेट ऑफ दिस वन c, लाइट स्पीड, स्पीड ऑफ लाइट का स्क्वायर. लाइट की स्पीड से 2 टाइम्स और स्क्वायर टाइम्स this transformation takes place. So this was the law. At that time they didn't know about energy and mass conversion, so he put this theory forward and just approved it. Let us take a question. We can easily understand this topic by a question. Show that after complete combustion of 3 gram of carbon combines with 8 gram of 8 gram to produce 11 gram of CO2 gas. Let us take this example. First of all, we must know about the combustion reaction. Just you have read this reaction already in your earlier classes. This one is carbon, this one is oxygen, and this one is carbon dioxide. We can easily check this out, that carbon mass is 12 gram, oxygen mass is 32 gram, and the carbon dioxide mass is 44 gram. We can calculate it simply by stoichiometry method, but right now I'm not concerned. I'm not trying to teach you the stoichiometric method. And what I'm going to tell you, that half of 12 becomes 6 gram. If you are going to halve this, then you have to surely halve this one also. 32 becomes 16 gram and 44 becomes 22 grams. If 12 gram needs 32 gram of oxygen, then for sure 44 gram of carbon dioxide will be produced. At the same time, if we are going to halve this value, then all the values will get halved. If one more half, then it becomes 3 gram and it becomes 8 gram, and this one become again half, 11 gram. We can easily see that 3 gram combines with 8 gram of oxygen to produce 11 gram. Yes, by law of conservation of mass, we can easily check 8 gram plus 3 gram becomes 11 gram. As I already told you, the mass on the reactant side must be same as the mass of the product side. That was all about conservation of mass. Just take it a screenshot and we will move forward. So let us take one more question. Show that to produce 4.5 gram of H2O, 0.5 gram of hydrogen requires 4 gram of O2. It is as simple as the earlier example. You just have to write over half O2 gives H2O. This is the combustion of hydrogen with in the presence of oxygen to yield H2O molecule. What will happen next? For 2 gram, 32 by 2. Actually, if it was 1 mole, it was 1 O2, then its mass should be 32. But if it is half, then we have to multiply it by half. Now what will it become? 16. 2 gram of hydrogen requires 16 gram to produce 18 gram. 1 gram, 8, 9, again half, 0.5, 4, again half, 4.5. We can easily check this data and we can check it here, 4 gram and 4.5 gram. And this principle also states that the mass on the reactant side is equals to the mass on the product side. That is what law of conservation of mass told us. Just take a screenshot of this image and we will move to the next section. So I hope you have taken this one. Let us move to the next theory. The next theory is law of definite proportion. Who put this theory forward? It was Mr. Joseph Proust by his cupric carbonate sample from natural source and artificially synthesized source. He found the same composition elements. It was very simple. Actually, Mr. Joseph Proust was carrying out an experiment. He found that the cupric oxide substance, when he found from nature and when he synthesized it chemically in his laboratory, he found the composition of each element was same. Either the sample was from natural source or it was chemically synthesized in the laboratory. So he told everyone that no matter from which source the sample is coming, the composition of element must remain same no matter how it comes. So let us take some examples. First of all, let us write its law. A given, what he has given, a given compound always contain exactly the same proportion of elements by mass. A given compound always contain exactly the same proportion of elements by mass. This was law. I just added few more points in it. So just write it down and we will learn it through few examples. Okay, next one. Let us take few examples. There are two cases. Case 1, when method formation is same. For example, let us produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide has got two methods. First of all, C plus O2 gives CO2. You already have saw this reaction. And the next method is CO2. These are two methods. You can easily identify that carbon dioxide is getting produced by the same method of combustion from same type of compound. You know, when we burn a charcoal, then there are mixtures of carbon as well as carbon monoxide. If it is getting combusted in limited supply of oxygen, then what will we gain? We will gain CO, and if we increase the amount of oxygen, then the combustion will go on complete and it will yield CO2. So let us check its composition for C plus O2 carbon dioxide. Here you can easily see carbon dioxide has mass 12 and oxygen has mass 16 to the 32. So the ratio comes 1:2, and in this case also 12:32, and it is 1:2. Same. You can easily check it. The method of carbon dioxide was from different source, but the same source, but the ratio was same. Let us take one more example. Let us take a question, a very famous question. First I have to rub this. When method is same. Sorry, last time we have taken when method is different. Now the method will be same. Same method. Let us take a question. We will understand this easily by a question. 0.243 gram of magnesium on burning with oxygen yields 0.403 gram of magnesium oxide in experiment 1, and the next in second experiment in second experiment 0.182 gram of Mg was burnt in oxygen to yield 0.302 gram of MgO. So prove the above data. According to law of definite proportion. It's very simple. Last time we were taking two different sources to produce carbon dioxide, as once it was produced from carbon and the second time we were producing from carbon monoxide, and we can easily check the carbon dioxide produced has the same composition of carbon and oxygen, that was 1:2. That was all. 12 एक मिनट, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, सॉरी मिस्टेक हो गया है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड मतलब 12:, दिस वाज 32, 1:2 नहीं है, इट विल कम टू 4 3 3:8, 3:8, sorry, pardon me, last time I wrote 1:2, but it is actually 3:8. Just correct it in your notebook. So what was going in experiment 1 and experiment 2, second experiment, the magnesium was burning in presence of oxygen. First case 0.243 was burning, and in the second case 0.182 gram of magnesium was burning, and in first experiment it yielded 0.403 gram of MgO, and in the second experiment it yielded 0.302 gram of MgO. So we are going to prove that does this example show that the law of definite proportion is correct or not. So just write it down. Now what will we do? First of all, we should write correct balanced equation. Mg plus half O2 gives MgO. Here in case 1, 0.243, and this one was 0.403. We can easily see that according to law of mass of conservation, the mass of reactant side should equal to mass of product side. So how much quantity will be this? 0.403 minus 0.243. Let us calculate 3 minus 3 0, 10 में से 4 गया 6, 3 में से 2 गया 1, 0.160. We can easily see 0.160 gram of oxygen was combusted with Mg. ये है case 1. Case 2, again Mg plus half O2 gives MgO. Now this sample has 0.182 and it yielded 0.302. Again law of mass of conservation, 0.302 minus 1.182 will give mass of oxygen combusted. So 2 minus 2 0, 10 में से 8 गया 2 and 3, 2 में से 1 गया 1, 0.120. First of all we got 0.160 and this was 0.120. Just write it down because I am going to rub this one. So now we are going to prove law of definite proportion. As law of definite proportion says that no matter which source was the basic mother to produce our compound, but the composition of each element will remain same. So let us check this out. For MgO, what will be the ratio of Mg is to O oxygen? Mg means 24, oxygen means 16. This ratio should be equal for each case according to law of definite proportion. For experiment 1, Mg 0.243 upon oxygen 0.160. For second case, if this value is same, then the law of definite proportion will be proved. 0.182 Mg and 0.120 oxygen. Yes, if it has got same value, then law of definite proportion is proved. So let us check this out. I think this will become 1.5, and I know I have already solved this. This will come to 1.5. Hence 1.5 equals to 1.5 equals to 1.5. Proved. Are you getting me? Actually the magnesium oxide is produced from two sources by the same method. Earlier carbon dioxide was produced by two different methods. Here the methods are same, and we can easily check as it was in carbon dioxide, the ratio was same, 3:8. It is exactly same in the case of MgO. The ratio comes to 1.5 and law of definite proportion is proved. So We will start in the next section and just write it down. We are going to learn another law.